Hello everybody and welcome to yoga. My name is Amy. Welcome to my channel for those of you just joining us. So we're going to go ahead and get started by, of course, taking a nice, comfortable, simple seated cross-legged position towards the center of the mat. Shoulders are drawn back and down, collarbone open. Inhale, reach your left arm up, look up. And exhale, lower the left arm down. Inhale, reach your right arm up, look up. And exhale, release the right arm down. Inhale, reach the left arm up. And exhale, side stretch over to your right. Try to keep both sit bones completely into the mat. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale, allow the rib cage to expand. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, carve your left arm through. Inhale, open up your arms, and exhale, release your arms down by your side. Inhale, reach the right arm up, look up, and exhale, side stretch over to your left. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Inhale, exhale, carve your right arm through. Inhale, open up your arms, and exhale, release your arms down by your side. Inhale, reach both arms up, look up, and as you exhale, fold over your simple seated cross-legged position, taking your hands as far forward as your body will allow you to go. Inhale, exhale, make sure that you're breathing deeply into the low back. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, walk your hands in, and as you exhale, begin to transition to your tabletop position. Wrists are directly below the shoulders, knees directly below the hips. Inhale into cow, and exhale, round through to cat, tucking in your tailbone. Inhale into cow, exhale, round through to cat. Inhale, exhale, come to a nice neutral spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder and take your right hip towards your rib cage. Inhale, back to neutral. Exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder, left hip towards your rib cage. Inhale, back to neutral, and continue to switch sides. Focus on working with your breathing here. Exhaling to turn, inhaling neutral. On your next inhalation, come back to a neutral spine, and as you exhale, round through to cat and take your hips back to your heels, coming into extended child's rest with your arms extended towards the top of the mat. If you would like to have your eyes closed in child's rest, you may certainly feel free to do so. And if at any time the flow begins to feel a little bit too strenuous, you may certainly feel free to come back here to child's rest. On your next inhalation, come to tabletop position. And as you exhale, curl your toes under, knees and hips come up to downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, I want you to make sure that you're keeping your hands lined up with your shoulders and your feet lined up with your hips, creating a nice evenness, and try to press evenly through all four corners of both hands. You do not have to have your legs fully extended, but I do want you to focus on lengthening and extending into your spine. Inhale, exhale, lift your right heel up, rolling through your foot. Inhale, switch sides, left heel. Exhale, right heel, and continue to walk the dog. Again, focus on working with your breath. Inhale, hold downward facing dog. Exhale, I want you to walk your feet forward, coming to the top of your mat. And so from here, we're releasing into forward fold or Uttanasana. Relax the back of your neck. Let gravity do the work for you. It should feel kind of like your chin is releasing towards your chest. Inhale. Exhale, clasp your elbows and gently swing from side to side. And just like with downward facing dog, you do not have to have your legs fully extended. Nice deep breaths. Inhale, swing to one side. Exhale, swing to the other. And again, continue to work with your breathing. Inhale, hold to center. Exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, one vertebrae at a time takes you all the way up to standing. Reach your arms up, palms together. Start to look up towards your hands. Exhale, take your hands to Namaste. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at your hips. Returning to forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Hands are just below the knees, and we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Really think about lengthening and growing out of your hips and through your spine. Gaze is to the mat. Inhale. Exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, right shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, step your right leg back, followed by your left. Coming back into downward facing dog. Exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels, child's rest for about 5 breaths. Inhale, back to tabletop position. Exhale, round through to cat. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round through to cat. Inhale to cow. Exhale, round through to cat. Inhale to a neutral spine. And as you exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder, right hip to your rib cage. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, look over the left shoulder, left hip to your rib cage. Inhale, neutral. And again, continue to work with your breathing, exhaling to turn to look over the shoulder, inhaling to neutral spine. Inhale back to neutral. And as you exhale, round through into cat. Take your hips to your heels, coming back into child's rest. Breathe deeply. Inhale to tabletop position. Exhale, curl your toes under, knees and hips come up to downward facing dog. And adjust yourselves to find the evenness in downward dog. Hands once again lined up with the shoulders, feet lined up with the hips, and walk the dog. Again, working with your breath. So you're going to inhale, lift up one heel, exhale, and switch sides. Inhale, hold. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat once again, releasing to forward fold. Inhale, exhale, clasp your elbows, swing from side to side. Inhale, hold to center. Exhale, release your arms down. Inhale all the way up to standing or reach up. Palms together, look up. Exhale, hands to Namaste. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold, hinging at your hips. Coming back to forward fold. And inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder. Inhale, neutral spine. Exhale, left shoulder. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, right. Inhale, neutral. Exhale, left. Inhale, neutral. And again, look over your right shoulder and look over your left shoulder. Inhale, back to neutral spine. Exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, step back your right leg, followed by your left. Coming back to downward facing dog. Exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels. Child's rest. Inhale back to all fours, back to tabletop position. And this time, as you exhale, I want you to take your elbows down to the mat, followed by your chest, then your chin, and inhale into a baby cobra. So we're scooping through and inhaling into baby cobra. In your baby cobra, I want you to make sure that, since this is a back bend, make sure that you're keeping your glutes engaged to help support the low back. Draw your shoulder blades or scapula together. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, release your brow down. Inhale to tabletop position and exhale into child's rest. Take deep breaths for a count of 5. On your next inhalation, look to the top of your mat. And as you exhale, take your right arm over to the right. Look to the right and rest the back of your right hand into your low back. Inhale, look to the mat. And exhale, release your brow down, allowing the right shoulder to round downward, really releasing into that shoulder. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, turn to look to the right. Reach that right shoulder upward. And then exhale, release the right arm down, coming back to extended child's rest for a few breaths. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, take the left arm out to the left. Look over to the left. Place the back of the left hand to the mat. Inhale, look down to your mat. And exhale, release your brow down, allowing the left shoulder to round downward. Breathe. Inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, look to the left. Lift the left shoulder up. Inhale, take the left arm forward. Exhale, back to extended child's rest for 3 breaths. Inhale, lift your hips. Begin to shift your weight onto your forearms and take your shoulders directly above your elbows. Make sure that you're pressing evenly through all 4 corners of both hands and that your fingers are spread nice and wide. Inhale, look forward. If this is too strenuous for your neck, you may certainly feel free to keep looking straight down to the mat, looking right between your arms. Breathe deeply. Inhale, exhale, lift your elbows, lengthen your arms, drop your hips down, coming all the way into cobra. Again, make sure to engage your glutes to support the low back. Inhale, exhale, turn to look over your right shoulder, making sure that you're keeping your right heel lined up with your sit bone. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look over your left shoulder, left heel lined up with your sit bone. Inhale, look up, and exhale, release your brow down. Inhale to tabletop position. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, walk the dog, keeping your fingers and toes spread nice and wide. Don't forget to work with your breath. Inhale, lift one heel. Exhale, switch sides. Inhale, hold downward facing dog. Exhale, walk to the top of your mat, coming back to forward fold. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up, palms together, look up. Exhale, hands to Namaste. Inhale, arms come up, look up. Exhale, fold forward, releasing back to forward fold. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right leg back, followed by your left leg. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, knees to the mat. Inhale into cow. Exhale, round through to cat. Scoop through, elbows, chest, then chin. Inhale to baby cobra for 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, release your brow down. Inhale, come to tabletop position. And exhale to child's rest for 3 breaths. Inhale, shift forward onto your forearms. And exhale, release your hips downward. Breathe deeply into Sphinx pose. Again, keep your glutes engaged to support the low back here. Inhale. Exhale, slide your hands in, press up and through your arms, through your shoulders into cobra. Inhale. Exhale, turn to look over the right shoulder. Inhale, look up. Exhale, look over the left shoulder. Inhale, look up. And exhale, release down to push-up position. Inhale, curl the toes under. Exhale, knees and hips come up, downward facing dog. And again, walk the dog. Inhale, hold. And exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels, extended child's rest. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, reach the right arm out to the right. Take the back of the right hand into the low back. Inhale. Exhale, lower your brow down and stay here for about 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can take your right hand closer to your scapula, closer to your shoulder blade, getting a deeper opening into that right shoulder. Breathe deeply. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, look over to the right, lift the right shoulder up. Inhale, release the right arm forward. And exhale to extended child's rest for 3 breaths. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, take the back of your left hand into your low back. Inhale, look down. And exhale, release. Shoulder round downward for 2 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, see if you can take the left hand closer to the scapula, getting a deeper stretch into that shoulder. Releasing into the rotator cuff. Inhale, look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lift the left shoulder up. Inhale, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, extended child's rest. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, shift forward so that your shoulders are once again stacked over your elbows. I'm going to stay here for a couple of breaths. This time, inhale, lengthen the right leg back, or you can stay right there with the right knee into the mat. And we have the option of lengthening the left leg back. Again, if you need to keep your knees into the mat, you may certainly feel free to do so here. Breathe deeply into dolphin plank. Try to keep the hips lined up with your shoulders, looking to the top of your mat. Inhale, exhale. Either take your knees into the mat or inhale, exhale, lift the left arm followed by the right arm and transition into your high plank. Again, pressing up and through the shoulders. Breathe deeply. Draw your navel in tight to your spine. Inhale, exhale into cobra. Inhale, exhale, lower to push-up position. Inhale and exhale, downward facing dog. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths, making our way into our Surya Namaskars or sun salutations. On your next inhalation, go ahead and lift the right leg up into 3-legged dog. And we're going to stay here for a few breaths. Really think about rooting down into the base leg. And really think about engaging into that right hip. Breathe deeply. Gaze into the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Take your right knee to your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the right leg. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the right leg. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, and step your right foot between your hands, coming into a lunge. Inhale, arms up to a floating lunge. Take your time to find your balance. We have the option of looking upward. Stay here for a few more breaths. Inhale, exhale, lower your arms down. Make sure to press evenly through all 4 corners of both hands into the mat. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply. Again, finding the evenness of downward dog. Make sure that you're keeping your hands lined up with your shoulders, feet lined up with your hips. Inhale, lift the left leg, returning to 3-legged dog. Again, make sure to press downward into your base leg and really engage into the left hip. Inhale. Exhale. Take the left knee to your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale. Lift the leg. Inhale. Exhale. Knee to nose. Step the left foot between your hands. Inhale. Arms up to floating lunge for a few breaths. And again, we have the option of looking upward for a little extra balance challenge. Inhale, exhale, arms down. Again, press evenly through all 4 corners of both hands. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. And exhale, take the knees to the mat, hips to heels, returning to child's rest. Now your body should be starting to feel a little bit warmer. Inhale, back to tabletop position. Exhale, transition to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg to 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Inhale, arms up to floating lunge. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, step forward. Inhale all the way up to standing, reach up, palms together. Exhale, hands to Namaste. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the right leg back. Arms up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, step the left leg back. Exhale, lower to push-up position. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale for child's rest for 3 breaths. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg to 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot between your hands. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Inhale, come halfway up. Exhale, step forward. Inhale all the way up, palms together. Exhale, hands to Namaste. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the left leg back, arms up. Exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, step back, downward facing dog. Exhale, lower to push-up position. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tabletop. And exhale, child's rest for 3 breaths. Inhale to tabletop position and exhale into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg to 3-legged dog. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Remember to look down to your mat. Really root down into that base leg. Inhale. Exhale, take the right knee to your nose, and we're going to hold for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, step the right foot between your hands. Turn the left foot out to a 45-degree angle. Inhale, arms come up to warrior 1. Either have your gaze forward, or if it's not bothering your neck, see if you can look upward towards your hands. Engage your glutes to support the low back and to lengthen more into the left hip, into the psoas. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your front leg. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Balancing into warrior 3. Keep the knee of your base leg slightly bent. Creating a nice long line from your fingertips all the way back to your toes. Inhale, step back to warrior 1. And exhale, open out to warrior 3. Try to keep your shoulders stacked over your hips. Try to keep the right knee stacked over the right ankle. And I want you to keep your gaze over the fingertips of your right hand. Look over to your left arm. Make sure it's not dropping. Try to keep it lined up with the shoulder. Inhale, reverse that warrior. And exhale, lengthen the right leg, tip forward to triangle pose. Shoulders stacked, one on top of the other. And try to keep your hips stacked as well. Tailbone stays tucked in. Breathe deeply. Inhale, take the left arm by your left ear. Exhale, swim and circle the left arm down and around. Bend the right leg. And take the left arm by your left ear. Inhaling into side angle pose. Looking up underneath the arm. Inhale. Exhale, release the left arm down. Lift the left heel up. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Into a revolved lunge. Try to keep the hips downward. Right knee over the left, over the right ankle. Breathe deeply. Inhale. Exhale, release the right arm down. Inhale, step the right leg back, returning to downward facing dog. Exhale, lower to push-up position. This time, inhale to upward dog. Hovering the legs over the mat, engage your glutes. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, exhale, push-up position. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, lower to push-up position. From here, inhale, upward dog. We have the option of exhaling, take a hop. to downward dog. Listen to your body. If you do not want to do the little hop, you certainly do not have to do so here. On your next inhalation, lift the left leg to three-legged dog. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to your nose, and hold again for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale, step the left foot between your hands. Inhale, arms up, turning the right foot out, coming into warrior one for a few breaths. Remember to keep the glutes engaged to support the low back. Inhale. Exhale, fold over your front leg. Shift your weight to your left leg. Lift the right leg up, inhaling to warrior three. Make sure to keep the left knee slightly bent. Inhale, step back to warrior one, and exhale, open out, coming into warrior two. Again, I want you to try to keep your gaze over the fingertips, in this case, of your left hand. Try to keep from allowing the back arm to drop. So we're essentially making a nice long line from one hand to the other, and really try to keep the left knee bent at a 90-degree angle. Inhale, reverse that warrior, and exhale to triangle pose. Again, try to keep the shoulders stacked. Try to keep the hips stacked. Tailbone tucked in. Inhale, swim and circle the right arm. Exhale, bend the left leg. Inhale, side angle. Inhale. Exhale, release the right arm down, lift the right heel up. Inhale, revolved lunge. Inhale. Exhale, release the left arm down. Inhale, step back. Downward facing dog. Exhale, push-up position. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, push-up position. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. Exhale, push-up position. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale. And as you exhale, release your knees to the mat. Hips to heels. Coming back to extended child's rest for 5 breaths. Inhale, lift your hips and shift your weight onto your forearms once again. We're going to stay here for a few breaths. Try to keep the hips over the knees. Try to keep the shoulders over the elbows. Again, fingers are spread nice and wide, and look down to your mat. We have the option of lengthening both legs back, coming back to dolphin plank. Inhale, exhale. This time, lift the hips into dolphin. Now, in dolphin, again, you don't have to have the legs fully extended, but I do want you to try to lengthen your spine as much as possible here. The focus is mainly on shoulder strength and stability. Take deep breaths. You might notice that it's especially difficult to take the heels all the way to the mat. You do not have to bring your heels all the way down. From here, either start by taking the knees down And then extend the arms up, or we have the option of extending the arms up, going right into downward facing dog. If you're keeping the knees to the mat, I want you to lift the arms up, push the hips forward, and then lift up to downward facing dog. You have your options. Listen to your body. Have patience with yourselves. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the mat. Inhale, take the right arm to the right. Exhale, right hand to the low back. Hips to heels. Child's rest with shoulder opener. Allowing the right shoulder to round downward once again. Inhale, lift your hips. Exhale, lift the right shoulder. Release the right arm down. Inhale, take the left hand to the low back. Exhale, hips to heels. Back to child's rest. Releasing into the left shoulder. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lift the left shoulder. Inhale, arm down. Exhale, hips, heels. Back to extended child's rest. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, lift the hips and shift onto your forearms. We're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. And again, we have the option of coming to dolphin plank. If you would rather keep the knees to the mat, you may certainly feel free to do so here as well. Remember, this is your flow. This is your yoga routine. This is your workout. Inhale. Exhale, lift the hips. Coming back into dolphin. Focusing on strengthening and stabilizing the shoulders. Breathe deeply. And from here, either take your knees to the mat and then push through the arms to a high plank into down dog, or come right into downward facing dog by lengthening the arms away from the mat. Breathe deeply. Inhale, exhale, knees to the mat, hips to heels. Take the right hand to the low back, child's rest, shoulder opening. Breathe. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, release the right arm down. Inhale, left hand to the back. Exhale, child's rest, releasing the shoulder. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower the left arm down. Inhale, exhale, cross your ankles and push away from the mat, rolling back to simple seated cross-legged position. Go ahead and take your feet forward. So now we're going to begin to transition our way into the mat. Use the strength of your arms to take your hips to the center of the mat. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, tuck in your tailbone and begin to release all the way down to supine, one vertebrae at a time. Try to keep the low back imprinted into the mat. Inhale. Exhale, take both knees over to the left. Inhale. Exhale, take the knees back to center. Inhale. Exhale, take both knees over to the right. Inhale. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, exhale to the left. Inhale, exhale center. Inhale, exhale to the right. Inhale, exhale to center. One last time. Over to the left, exhaling. Back to center. Over to the right, exhaling. And back to center. From here, take the right knee to your chest, followed by the left knee. And start to take your chin towards your chest. So now we're fully decompressing from the very top of the spine all the way down to the tailbone. Nice deep breaths. If you need to use one hand to support your neck by placing your hand around the back of your head, you may certainly feel free to do so here as well. Go ahead and release your head down. And from here, slide the left leg along the mat, keeping your feet flexed. Inhale, lengthen the right leg into a leg stretch. We're stretching all the way down the back of the leg into the hamstring. Foot flexed, toes spread wide. If you have a yoga strap, I would encourage you to use it if you're struggling to get into that stretch. Otherwise, you do have the option of binding the toes, either using the left arm or the right arm. Now, keep in mind that by reaching and extending with the left arm, you're actually getting a little bit more of a stretch into the upper back, releasing into the rhomboids, fanning open the scapula. See if you can lengthen the leg a little bit more. Inhale, exhale, bend the right leg and take the right leg over your left, coming into a spinal twist. Go ahead and start to use the left arm to drop the knee down just a little bit more upon every breath. If you cannot take the knee all the way down into the mat, don't worry about it from here. Just really listen to your body. Inhale, lengthen the right arm out to the right. Try to keep both shoulders fully into the mat, looking over the right shoulder. Take deep breaths. Inhale back to center, squaring the hips off to the mat, coming back to supine with knees bent. Inhale, exhale, knees to chest. And go ahead and draw your chin towards your chest. Again, decompressing the spine. And release your head down. Inhale, slide the right leg along the mat. Feet flexed. Exhale, lengthen the left leg. You might notice that one side is a little bit tighter than the other. For me, and I really haven't touched upon it very much with you guys, but for me, I have a very old injury that goes all the way back to 2002. So my advice to you is always make sure to get your body nice and warm before you make your way into any workout. And always be mindful of what your body is telling you. Inhale, exhale. See if you can lengthen the left leg just a little bit more. And again, if you have a yoga strap, I would encourage you to utilize that here. Otherwise, you do have the option of reaching for and binding the toe as well. Inhale, exhale, bend the left leg and take the left leg over the right leg, coming back to that spinal twist, looking over the left shoulder. Try to keep both shoulders into the mat and see if you can start to take the left knee closer to the mat upon every breath. It's entirely optional. Inhale, square your hips off to the mat. And exhale, take the right knee over to the right. Inhale, left knee over to the left, feet together into reclined cobbler's pose. So even if I'm putting a lot of focus on shoulders with any flow combination, I always make sure to incorporate hip openers, because whatever your shoulders are doing, the rest of your hips, especially your pelvic girdle, the rest of your body into your pelvic girdle will follow. So if you're stabilizing and strengthening the shoulders, it is very, very important to also stabilize and strengthen the pelvic girdle. Inhale. That being said, as you exhale, tuck in the tailbone and lift your heels just over the mat. If you need to keep your heels all the way down, I would encourage you to do so. Again, listen to your body. Breathe deeply. Try to keep the low back implanted and imprinted into the mat. Do not let the low back arch. Draw the navel in towards your spine. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the knees together. Inhale. Exhale. Lower all the way back down to reclined cobbler's pose. Inhale. Exhale. Tuck in the tailbone. Lift the heels and hold here for a few breaths. Inhale, exhale, knees together. Inhale and release back to recline cobbler's pose. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, exhale, tuck in the tailbone, lift the heels and hold here for a few breaths. Inhale, exhale, knees together. Inhale, release. Coming back to recline cobbler's pose. Exhale, lift the right knee up. Inhale, lift the left knee up. And from here, draw the knees inward now. So we went from our recline cobbler's pose into a release. So we're going into what we call in yoga a counter pose. So there's a pose and then there's a counter pose. So right now we're countering what we just did. We're releasing the inner thigh, releasing and relaxing the hips, just drawing the knee inward, letting gravity drop the knees in while the feet go out towards the edges of the mat. Go ahead and relax your hands on your lower abdomen. Start to soften your eyes. So now we're bringing our body temperature down. We're bringing the heart rate down a little bit. Just focus on how you feel in this moment. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Now, if you want to stay here, and this is what we call our concentrated rest, if you want to stay in concentrated rest pose, you can. Otherwise, go ahead and heel toe your feet back to the center of the mat. And we're going to make our way into our Shavasana or corpse pose. Slide out the right heel, followed by your left. And for today, we're going to go ahead and place the palms down into the mat and start to take your hands just underneath the hips, using your body as leverage to lengthen the arms a little bit more, but try not to lock out your elbows. Soften your shoulders. Soften your brow, soften your face, relax your jaw. Allow your eyes to drift closed. Feel as though you're releasing all the tension through all your muscles from your fingertips, traveling all the way down to your toes. Start to let go of and silence all of your strenuous thoughts. Feel as though your mind is drifting towards the sky and your body is sinking deep within the earth. Let go and focus only on your breathing. Now, if you would like to remain a little bit longer, you may certainly feel free to do so, but for the purposes of this video today, I'm going to go ahead and start to bring you back into your surroundings. By wiggling the fingers and toes, go ahead and release your hands from your hips. Slide in your right heel, followed by your left. Take your right arm by your right ear and roll all the way over onto your right side. Use the strength of your arms to come up to a nice, comfortable, simple cross-legged position, allowing your eyes to drift open. Palms are up, index finger to thumb. eyes are soft. Now, if you feel like you're flexible through your hips today, go ahead and come all the way into either half lotus or full lotus, whichever feels most appropriate, or if you'd like to stay in simple cross-legged, you can here as well. Take deep breaths. Soften your shoulders, release your neck. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach your arms up. Begin to look up towards your hands. Bring your palms together. And exhale, take your hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Of course, if you have any suggestions or parts of your body that you would like for me to focus on the most, go ahead and drop a comment down below. And like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. Thanks again, everybody. Peace. Amy out. Have a lovely week.